And we are live. It is another great day in the land of Cribble. We are excited. I'm happy. I'm thrilled having Mike and Chris here today. So what are we talking about, guys? Let me hear it.
CriblCon!
There you go. Hey, we're letting everyone hear the thrill, the excitement that is CriblCon. So tell me, what is CriblCon and when is it going to be?
CriblCon is our users conference. It's the best damn user conference Cribble has ever put on. It is going to be June 10th in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace with a little extra on the 11th and 12th at the Wynn. So main event on the Monday, June 10th. And then because, well, we're running out of daylight, we decided, you know what, we're going to stick around. We're going to bring all of our great people, all of our great experts like Chris and Ed, and we're going to move to the Wynn, and we're going to have a same kind of a CriblCon light experience for the extra 2 days of the week.
Hey, if you're going to be in Vegas the week of the 10th, hey, come stop by, join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tell me, what's happening on Monday?
Ooh, it is a jam-packed agenda. I'm going to cover half of it, and I'm going to pass it over to Chris because, well, you guys don't want to hear me all the time. But we have an amazing keynote led by executives. We're going to have 3 tracks, and we should probably cover a lot of this during this live stream, what's in each track. We're going to have a public sector luncheon that Ed is going to talk about. We're going to have what we call our Cool Lab, which is our collaboration space, which is pretty much come over, come see our product, come ask questions. And it's not just questions like, hey, what does this do? It's like, hey, I have this architecture problem, trying to figure out what I should do in my data strategy. We have experts that can answer that. We also have support folks as well. So if there's that nagging support thing that you're trying to solve, we'll have people there. We'll have whiteboards so you can either draw some emojis or actually figure out, problems or challenges to solutions to challenges. Wow. Maybe a little more coffee this morning. And then we'll have a happy hour as well, because I think I've talked about this so much in the last few live streams that we have, but the power of CriblCon is also HallwayCon. It's building those relationships. It's interacting with other folks that ultimately have the same challenges or have found solutions to those challenges, and getting folks together to talk about that. And then I want to actually pass it over to Chris, because I know I said 3 tracks, but one of the main tracks that we have is our hands-on track, which is probably, ears are probably perked right now. What did you say? Hands-on? Come again? What do we have in there, Chris?
Hey, yeah. So we are going to have an entire track, five different presentations that are going to be hands-on. And now I love hands-on stuff. It is the best way to get in and touch a product, find some tips and tricks, and find some quirks and some workarounds. This CriblCon, we're going to be covering our entire platform for hands-on labs. A little bit of Stream, a little bit of Edge, a little bit of Search, a little bit of Lake, with stuff that you can really take home and use in production when you get back to your office, which is key for everything at CriblCon. We want every presentation for you to bring something away from it. This is not just a bunch of talking heads that you get nothing out of. You get to take something home that you learn and actually use it. How deep do we want to get into labs? Because I can tell you a little bit about them.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's give it just each one. What's the one sentence highlight?
Yeah. So we have 2 labs that I'm really excited. Well, 3 labs I'm really excited about that do follow from start to finish across all of the platform. It's going to be like real world IT issues, and we're going to show you how search can reach into your systems, find those issues before you even know that they exist, and help you solve them quickly. We're going to search APIs to be able to pull data that you would never be able to reach any other way, and be able to put it with your data to find out what's really going on within your systems. We're going to correlate different SIEMs across different data sets, different technologies, bringing them together to be able to solve a problem. We're going to learn about some lesser known stream functions, some really cool stuff that you might not know about. just a little bit of everything. These are going to be really fun. You're going to have about 45. They're going to be 45 minutes. About 30 minutes of that's going to be you actually in Cribble Cloud, touching the product, learning things, asking questions. We'll have our SEs, our advocacy, a bunch of people in the room that'll help you if you get stuck, but also answer questions that you might have going on further on after you get done with the lab.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. There's going to be a lot.
Wait, you're saying that's only one of the tracks? Holy moly.
And that's just one of the tracks.
So Mike, tell us about the other track.
So the other tracks are going to be probably a little bit more, I'm going to say typical conference tracks. We're going to have a track that's going to be around security topics, and then we'll have a track that is going to be around observability and best practices, because, well, our conference is for IT and security practitioners. So we ultimately want to make sure that we are covering the right content for both. And then both of those tracks have some pretty exciting customers that will be in there. So I don't know if we want to cover those customers because we're going all over the place. I'm okay with it because that's how I think. But I don't know if we want to go back to what are we going to talk about, the keynote and all that stuff.
Well, so I mean, I think for most, they're going to be interested in what the actual practitioners have to say. So just, what are some of the highlights that the practitioners are going to talk about?
Yeah, so we actually have some really cool stuff. Obviously, some of the things that you might have heard Cribble talk about before. Tool migrations. So we have a company, Epic Global, that's going to talk about how they save money through their SIEM migration. We have a great customer, Synopsys, that's actually also talking about some of the tool migration, but getting down into the actual data type and what they've done and what they're doing, right? Some from syslog to logstash, all these cool things. We have a customer, MX Global Travel, Business Travel, that's going to talk about reducing risk, right? So not just, hey, this is how much we save money, but how did we reduce risk by using Cribble through a SIEM migration? So that's really cool. And we have another one, a little company, you might have known them, Wells Fargo, that's going to talk about their migration as well, what they've done, how they prepared, and they might be handling a good amount of data. So it'll be a very interesting presentation to see not just the migration, but what did they think about, what did they prepare for, what did they run into, and how it ultimately enlightened them and got them to where they wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, I love those use cases because those are practitioner real world. Those aren't some just vendor driven, pie in the sky. That's real world stuff that I think a lot of practitioners, a lot of companies would appreciate.
Yeah, we have some internal folks that are going to give one that's going to talk about how we actually faced this and had to move off of a legacy SIEM and how we moved it into Grafana and S3 plus search and did tool migration, checked it out. We're going to talk people through how we're goat fooding across our cloud stack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are great. So let's then circle back to the final track. So in terms of keynote and some of the executive presentations, let's give the class an overview there.
Yeah, so the keynote, I always love the keynote. It's also something that we share afterwards, but two main reasons why I love it, and it goes back to the practitioners, right? The audience that's there. So one is we talk about our whole portfolio and why we're solving challenges, right? It's not just hey, we released this for this. It's really we build from first principles, we deliver based on those first principles, and ultimately, I think last year, if you haven't heard it yet, I'm pretty sure Clint said something about, it's not just, hey, we build it, it's awesome, you guys love it. It's we build it, it goes out, you tell us what's wrong with it, then we go back, we iterate, and then we give to where we are. So there's a lot of that goes on, and Clint obviously talks about that. Then the second part, which is a really interesting part, is our executive staff, so our leaders are out there doing actual live demos. It's not just talking head the whole time. I think last year in a keynote, we had over 30 minutes of actual live demos from Dratan and Ledion, and I think even Clint as well. So it's really cool. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that we're working on right now. There's basically some competitions between some e-staff. There's always nice little, it's always very interesting to see folks that are leading the company out there also competing and doing some really cool demos. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. It's going to be engaging. You can find out something, always going to learn something new. And I think that's important. There's a few things worse than someone just reading off of slides. And so I think this is going to be really engaging.
It is. And then I'm gonna take the host seat right now, because Ed, you got a little session that you're going to be leading at CriblCon. What
I certainly am.
You?
I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a continuation of what I did last year. So I'm leading a lunch and learn with federal, state, and also federal employees who work in the IT space. And so it's a really interesting. We had about 30, 35 last year, and we walk through things we could do, things, what other business units are doing, because there's not a traditional business driven ROI. It's a little bit different. So we talked about how to justify this in your organization, where it matters, why it matters, how Cribble helps you save effort, save costs, because the engineering constraints in the federal and state space are just epic. And so, how do we help you scale? How do we get more done? So I mean, I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
I love it. And it's also, I mean, that's one of the big parts of the conference as well, right? Like, you're learning. Our observability and best practices track is a lot of that. It's not just, hey, come and see a demo. Like, we actually have a presentation from Cox Automotive that talks about the process, right? Like, you can be successful, awesome. Obviously, the three of us are biased. We think Cribble tools are great, but also, like, it doesn't go anywhere without process. So you'll learn a few things, right? I love it. John Lim is presenting, and I'm, whenever we're walking through some of the walkthroughs, and I'm like, oh man, like, this is so cool. I wish everybody knew this. And it's just little things, right? It's not he's not boiling over the ocean. It's just being able to say, hey, this is the process. This is how I show value. And this is also how I share value with others, right? So we have a great mix of content inside of our tracks, we believe, and hopefully folks that are going to be there are also going to do this, and they're going to give us the feedback as well, right? If it's not what we were looking for, we always go back to the drawing board and try to make it better every year.
Did we mention the iHerb?
We did not.
Was that one's gonna? Oh, there's some really good stuff that's coming out of that one.
So what Mitchell, like with what John's doing from Cox Automotive, is incredibly important, because we rarely see technical challenges. More often than not, it's the process of how do you fit this new tool to get value in a big organization, and that process of understanding, here's how you do this, here's how you make progress, here's how over time you create forecasts. And John does a really good way of laying that out and making it repeatable, and making it something that an engineer can understand and then adopt going forward. Because as you elevate your game as an engineer, your ability to communicate up is very important. And John has a great example of how he does that.
He does. And also, I guess at this point, we only pick John's to present, because so we'll go from John Lim to someone who's famous in the Cribble circles and outside of Cribble circles. But like Chris said, iHerb. So we have Aaron Wilson and John Rust that are coming to us.
Oh, nice.
And folks know Rust. I mean, he's been on stage. I'm pretty sure he's been on this live stream. He's been on the Cribble Life podcast as well. There's so much cool things that he's doing, and it's always, I love to just sit down and hear him walk through kind of the stuff that he's doing. But this presentation with Aaron it's great, right? It touches on a migration, but it's also, what did they do underneath the hood, right? How it's not the typical, hey, we went from A to B, but it's like, how did we get from A to B? What did we put in the actual function, and why did we do that, right? That's go back to what Chris said, and ultimately why we're doing this conference. It's to make sure that practitioners get something out of it, right? You're going to walk away from every single presentation that you attend with, oh, I should probably try that, or I never thought about it that way. That's probably a good idea to go through and test it out, and mess around, right? Like, I think that's one of the great things that Cribble allows you to do. That our whole suite of products allows you to test things quickly, see if it's gonna make a change, or if it's not, if it's good or if it's bad, and then deploy it. So it'll be a very interesting, I think it's going to be a very interesting conference. But like I said earlier, I'm biased as well. So
and that especially with it brings that excitement to it. Hey, I've solved a problem, and now I'm gonna help explain. Here's why it's worth the effort. Here's how we get this done. And so I think it's a great thing about for your development in your career, and understand how to deliver big transformative projects to the enterprise. And so it's a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, there's one thing we did forget about on Monday night too, is the get your goats.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
So get your goat. Man, John, again, he's got his hands in this one as well. But
Right.
Jenna and Yasmin from the SE team will be leading I got to get this right, a Jeopardy style capture the flag-esque game. Yes, I get paid by the word for this live stream. This is great. It's ultimately so we take all the goodness that Chris or talked about for the hands-on lab, but we add a little twist for competition. So we have like I said, Jeopardy style capture the flag-esque game that you'll be competing against colleagues or cribblers. We'll say cribblers because that's going to be who's in the room, and you get to learn kind of the day in the life of a practitioner and how you should be using Cribble, but in a competition style. So you're competing for bragging rights, probably awesome trophies, obviously, and some Cribble swag. So it's going to be on Monday night. During
and what comes after that? I mean, because the night can't be over.
It is not over. There's more. We have the herd hula baloo. Whoa, this is the first time I've actually said it right the first time, and I didn't trip up. So I'm doing better. It's our happy hour. So for folks that can't make it on Monday during the content, or I guess if you have something else that's going on, but you still want to take part in the goodness, you can still join us. Still have to register, but it is free. Pretty much, the Cool Labs, Herd Hula Baloo, and Get Your Goat are going to be around. We'll have a bunch of stuff in our expo hall. We'll have a bunch of sponsors as well. So if you want to see what our ecosystem looks like, you'll have folks you'd be able to talk to from all the companies that we interact with, folks that are part of our Technology Alliance program, some of our sponsors, big sponsors, CrowdStrike, AWS. They'll be there. You can ask questions. You can see how we interact. And all of that part is actually free. So you'll just have to register real quickly at CriblCon.cribble.io. Right now, if you're listening, you should be doing it. And you'll be able to join us and partake in, a little bit of interactions with the cribblers out there.
So just wanted to share some of the comments from the class. Steve Colpin, I don't know who that guy is, but he's real excited. He's real excited for CriblCon. We got Logan Carter, who was obviously at Happy Hour last year. So, hey, Logan, looking forward to seeing you again. Really appreciate it. Then we got Jake McCoy. Hopefully you can be there. We always try to get the goats together.
That's right.
Yep. Lots of fun. So now let's link for sign up. Cribble, there you go. CriblCon with major explanation points. Hey, so let's talk about the rest of the week. So even though Monday's done, we are not going away. So what happens after Monday?
That's right. So for folks that can't make it on Monday, which I think, you probably should. You're not going to regret.
Or if you do make Monday, but you want to hang out with us some more.
That's right. This happened last year as well. Monday is so packed. You got all this content coming at you. You're taking a bunch of notes. You might enjoy a few libations or two, have a bunch of other conversations, and you're like, oh man, I forgot to ask this. Or at happy hour at the Herd Hula Baloo, I had this and I couldn't find Ed anymore. Where is he? Fear not. We're sticking around. So on the 11th and 12th, we're sticking around Vegas. We're just going, I guess, south on the strip. I can't remember.
Actually, it's north.
North on the strip. All right, perfect. There you go. Don't ask me for directions. I just pedal whatever it is, right? And that's all these bikes. We are going over to the Win, and we are going to bring that cool lab experience. So the collaboration space for folks, we're going to bring it back just in a slightly different setting with a little, probably some coffee. It's always hard to get coffee in Vegas without standing in line for about an hour. But we'll have folks like Ed, like Chris. We'll have more support folks. We'll have our PS folks as well. If you have architecture questions, challenges, and Ed is talking to somebody else, you can actually find another expert in architecture. You'll have all of our demos, right? All of our products from Stream to Lake to Edge to Search, or if you're standing on the edge of the lake searching for the Stream. I had to do it, Chris. I'm sorry, I had to do it. This is the place to actually do it. So we will be at the Win on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's June 11th and 12th. Those are actually free. We'll actually give you coffee if you join around. So
so what's the time frame? So what's the hours that we're open?
For so 10 to 3 on Tuesday and Wednesday. We might extend if there's enough folks that are around. Obviously, we want to make sure that we have the right experience for folks, but we start at 10 in the morning. So you can basically trot on over to the Win, try to do the whole thing inside because it's June and it's probably going to be pretty warm. But it's technically, I did it last time. There's literally just one light, so probably less than 3 minutes outside. The rest is air conditioned. And you can come ask questions and hang out with us.
Yeah, it's really easy to get, especially from the Palazzo over to the Win. And so that just, it makes it real easy. I'm excited for it. One of the things I'm going to be doing is helping if you want to whiteboard your architecture, if you're going to talk about your data strategy, we'll be there to help and answer those questions, because I know sometimes it's hard to figure those things out. So we want to help you out.
You're not alone. You're not alone. We've got you.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. So go to the link. So it's on cribble.io/CriblCon and sign up. Hey, I heard there is a deal. Is there a discount somewhere?
There's a few discounts. If you're going to be in Vegas, reach out to your Cribble rep. Right now, if you happen to be in Vegas that week for something else, for a holiday, I know we have some. We actually have some folks in the ecosystems that are on holiday in Vegas that week. Totally didn't plan well because they're going to be missing out. But reach out to your Cribble rep. Ask them what's going on. They actually have a bunch of different options to get you there. We want to get you in the room. We want to get you all the content that you need. So reach out to your rep. And they will help you get to Las Vegas.
Awesome. Cannot wait. Chris, you got any closing remarks?
Just want to say, CriblCon!
CriblCon!
There you go. Hey, it's going to be cool. Hey, so don't hesitate to reach out. We're available on social. We're available on LinkedIn. Reach out direct. Reach out to the Cribble IDs if you want some, Cribble social handles if you need any more information. And we are here to help, and just looking forward to seeing everybody.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.
Thanks all.